I never thought I'd wake up in my mother's skin, staring at my own reflection in the bathroom mirror of our McMansion in suburban Connecticut, her Botox-smooth face twisting into a snarl that wasn't mine. The night before, my parents had handed me that pathetic $200 check like it was a gift from God, pocketing the rest of Grandma's $18,000 inheritance boost without a flicker of guilt, money meant for my escape from their gilded cage. And then, in the witching hour, Grandma's voice crackled through the phone like static from hell. "Willow, baby, it's time they felt what it's like to beg." That call came at 2:17 a.m., right after I'd slammed my bedroom door on their laughter echoing from the wine cellar downstairs. I'd found the bank statement crumpled in Dad's briefcase, $18,000 wired from Grandma's account in Florida, earmarked for me, her little firecracker, to fund community college and a one-way ticket out of this soul-sucking suburbia. But there it was, siphoned off for their family needs, a new Tesla for Dad's midlife crisis, Mom's latest round of fillers, and a Birkin bag that cost more than my entire wardrobe. They doled out $200 like scraps to a dog, cooing about teaching responsibility while I choked on the irony, me, the one who'd been responsible for their lies since I was 12. It started back then, that deep betrayal burrowing into my bones like a cancer no one bothered to biopsy. I was Willow Harper, the good girl in plaid skirts and straight A's, the one who covered for Mom's affair with her yoga instructor when I walked in on them that sweltering July afternoon. Dad was away on business, code for schmoozing golf buddies at the country club, and I was supposed to be at debate club. Instead, I came home early, sneakers silent on the marble foyer, and heard the moans before I saw the tangle of limbs on the kitchen island. Mom's eyes met mine over the guy's sweat-slick shoulder, and she didn't even flinch. "Willow, honey, go to your room. This isn't what it looks like." But it was exactly what it looked like. And worse, the secret she made me keep. The one that unraveled everything. Dad found out eventually. Of course, through me. Because she guilted me into confessing to save the family. He didn't divorce her, no. That would tarnish the Harper name in Greenwich's Whisper network. Instead, he turned it into ammunition. A hidden blade he wielded in passive-aggressive jabs over Sunday roasts. "Willow's always been our little secret keeper," he'd say with a wink that curdled my stomach. And I did keep it, swallowing the acid reflux of resentment, because what choice did a kid have? They were the Harpers, old money from Dad's real estate empire, the kind that bought silence and status. I was just the accessory. The daughter who suffered their mistakes in silence. My youth sacrificed on the altar of their dysfunction. Grandma knew, though. Evelyn Evie Malone, Mom's mother, the chain-smoking Spitfire from Pensacola who clawed her way out of trailer park poverty with a nursing degree and a poker face sharper than a switchblade. She saw through the Christmas card gloss, the Instagram reels of family vacations to Nantucket. Every summer, she'd scoop me up for 2 weeks in Florida. Salt air and conch fritters, where I'd spill the poison they'd fed me. "Those vultures," she'd mutter, filing her nails with a switchblade she kept in her purse for gators. Last year, over key lime pie sticky with humidity, she confessed her own secret, a botched real estate deal in the 80s that Dad had orchestrated to swindle her out of her savings. $50,000 gone. Funneled into his first strip mall. He married my girl to get close. Willow. Power's his drug. And your mama's the enabler. That was the crime I G-bear, grafted onto their ledger of sins. They pinned Grandma's financial ruin on market fluctuations, but I dug up the emails last fall, hidden in Dad's cloud drive while he was passed out from scotch. Forged signatures, backdated contracts, felony territory if anyone cared to prosecute. But who would? The Harpers donated to the right PACs, sat on the PDA board. I was the fool who stayed quiet, thinking loyalty was love. Until that $18,000 wire hit, and they handed me pocket change like I was still the kid covering their affair. The hook of that night still digs in. I confronted them in the living room. Fairy lights twinkling mockingly over the sectional that cost more than a year's tuition. 18 grand. Dad? For your ego? Mom. That bag on your arm. Blood money? Dad's face went corporate blank. The way it did in boardrooms. Willow. This is adult business. You're not ready. Mom teared up on cue, Oscar bait. We kept most for your future. Sweetie. College is expensive. Lies so polished they gleamed. I laughed, a jagged sound that echoed off the vaulted ceilings. My future? Or your third home in the Hamptons? That's when Dad's mask cracked. Ungrateful brat. Without us, you'd be nothing, like your grandma, scraping by on Social Security. I stormed upstairs, phone in hand, dialing Grandma before the door clicked shut. She picked up on the first ring, voice gravel and gin. Tell me, firecracker. I did, words tumbling like dominoes. She listened. Then, pack a bag, baby. But first, trust me. Drink this. She overnight a vial that arrived by noon next day. Labeled Evie's tonic, for what ails ya. I thought it was moonshine. Her joke cure-all. But that night, after they left for the club, cocktails with the neighbors who pretended not to know about Mom's yoga retreats, I uncorked it. Bitter as regret, burning down my throat like liquid fire. The room spun, shadows lengthening into claws, and Grandma's voice whispered from the ether, "Swap the cage. Willow. Let them wear your chains." Blackout. Then light, harsh vanity bulbs in Mom's ensuite, her silk robe heavy on shoulders that weren't mine. I lurched to the mirror, and there she was, Caroline Harper, 52 going on ageless with her weekly injectables, blue eyes wide in horror. But the thoughts? Mine. The rage? A furnace in my chest, stoked by years of their gaslighting. Body swap. Grandma's unbelievable something witchcraft, nanotech from her nurse days, didn't matter. I was in her skin, and she, God, where was she? Was out there, vulnerable in mine. But first, revenge. Theirs. Deep. Deliberate. The kind that doesn't end with a slap, but a slow unraveling. I rifled through Mom's drawers first, heart pounding in this unfamiliar ribcage, looser, aching from years of Chardonnay and neglect. Her phone buzzed, a text from Dad. Home soon. Babe. Love you. XO I typed back, fingers trembling on the passcode I knew by heart, her birthday. Because irony. Miss you. Pouring wine. Send. Then I accessed the joint account, $16,800 left after their spree. A few clicks, transfers to anonymous charities, the ones Grandma loved. Women's shelters in the Panhandle. Poetic, right? Their stolen future, redistributed to the broken. But that was appetizer. The main course? Their secrets, the ones I'd guarded like a fool. I slipped into Dad's study, heels clicking like gunshots on the hardwood, Mom's Louboutins. Size 8. A half size too big for my old feet, but close enough. His laptop hummed open. No password because hubris. Folders upon folders. Business, but really black book, clients bribed, zoning laws bent for his developments. And there, buried, EV Deal 87. Scan docs. Yellowed with age. Proving the swindle.
Forgery.
Embezzlement. Enough to bury him if leaked to the right journalist. Her phone vibrated.
Grandma? No. Mine.
Left charging in my room. I bolted upstairs, nearly twisting an ankle in these stilts of shoes. The screen glowed. Unknown number. Willow, it's me. Your body feels
Young.
tight hamstrings. But listen, the tonic's old family recipe. Irish roots. Swapped souls for justice. I'm in your skin. Safe at a motel off I-95. You have 72 hours before it reverses.
Make him pay.
But smart.
Love. Evie.
72 hours. A weekend from hell.
Theirs.
I texted back. How? Her reply, blood magic.
Darlin'.
Don't ask. Just do. I laughed, manic, echoing in Mom's vocal cords. Smoother than mine. Trained by cocktail hours.
Fine.
Smart it was. Saturday dawned gray. Rain lashing the French doors like accusations. Dad stirred first. Bacon sizzling as Mom, pancaked on foundation in the powder room, blending into this porcelain doll. Morning. Handsome, I purred when he shuffled in, his paunch straining the polo shirt. He pecked my cheek, oblivious. You look radiant.
Caro.
New serum? I smiled, teeth gritted. Something like that. Over coffee, black for him, latte for me. I probed. That deal with the Pensacola property. Evie's old place. Ever think about settling it? His mug paused mid-sip. Ancient history. Why bring it up? I leaned in, channeling Mom's flirt. Just guilt. Maybe? Willow's been asking questions. His eyes narrowed. The predator surfacing. That girl's trouble. Stirring pots she shouldn't. Like her grandma. Bingo. I played the card. Speaking of, the money I sent her, 18 grand. She thinks we shorted her.
Lie.
But it landed. Dad's jaw ticked. We discussed this. Family first. I nodded.
Syrupy.
Of course. But what if she talks? To Evie. He slammed the mug down. Coffee sloshing. Let her. No proof.
Ah.
But there was. In his study. Waiting. I spent the morning gardening, Mom's excuse for Xanax and Rose, while Dad golfed. Alone in the house. I printed the docs. Emailed them to a burner account from my old activist days at school.
Then.
The controversial call. I dialed the journalist from the Greenwich Sentinel. A pitbull named Lena, who'd exposed a councilman's affair last year. Caroline Harper here. Off record first, I've got dirt on my husband's deals. Big ones. Lena bit. Mrs. Harper? This a joke. No joke. Meet me at the cafe on Elm. Noon. Bring your laptop. Risky? Hell yes. Mom's social circle would crucify her for snitching. But in her skin, it was her cross to bear. Controversial decision 1. Torch the marriage from the inside. Noon came, umbrella popping like a gunshot. Lena slid into the booth. Sharp bob and sharper eyes. What's this about? Caroline? I slid the USB across Formica, rain drumming the tin awning. Embezzlement.
Forgery.
My mother-in-law's life savings. 1987. But that's the tip. Check the zoning bribes, current projects. Her brows shot up. You're blowing up your own life. I met her gaze. My own mom's steady. Some lives deserve dynamite. Back home, Dad was in the den, scotch in hand early. Productive morning? I asked, shedding the coat. Closed a deal. Willow called, sounded off. Said she's with Evie. Panic flickered. Grandma. In my body. Covering tracks. Really?
That's
Sweet. I poured myself a glass, Mom's Merlot. Tart as betrayal. And raised it. To family, that night. The tension coiled like a spring. Dinner was steak au poivre. My attempt at Mom's recipe from a dog-eared Junior League cookbook. Dad ranted about entitled millennials, code for me. I nodded. Fork scraping porcelain. Willow's always been sensitive. He snorted. Sensitive? She's a liability. Remember the yoga thing? Covered our asses. My blood, her blood, boiled. The affair. The secret I'd shouldered. You mean the one I confessed for you? I said, voice low. He blinked. What?
slip.
Mom wouldn't push. But I did. I saw Dad.
That day.
And I lied for you both. For years. The room went arctic. His fork clattered. Caroline, what the fuck? I leaned forward. The decision crystallizing, controversial too, shatter the facade. Willow knows everything. The swindle. The affair. The money. And she's talking. Lies layered on truth. A house of cards teetering. Dad's face purpled. That little bitch. I'll cut her off. No more tuition. No inheritance. I laughed cold. Unfamiliar. Too late. It's already out. He lunged. But I was faster. Adrenaline surging in this older frame. Grabbed the landline old school. Heavy, and dialed 911. Intruder in my home. I gasped when the operator picked up. My husband's violent. Dad froze. Eyes bulging. Caro. You crazy. Sirens wailed distant.
Closing in.
Controversial? Betraying family to the cops? Framing the patriarch. But he'd earned it. The crime I'd atoned for. Now repaid. Cops swarmed. Tasers drawn. Dad cuffed on the Persian rug. Sputtering. This is a misunderstanding. I played the victim flawless. Tears on cue. Mom's acting chops. He drinks. Gets paranoid. The yelling. They bought it. Hauling him to the cruiser. As it peeled out. Lights flashing blue hellfire. I exhaled. Phase 1. Dismantle the king. But the real storm brewed Sunday. Grandma texted from my phone. Papers hit the wire. Lena's gold. Stay sharp. Reversal at dawn tomorrow. The Sentinel's site blared. Harper Realty scandal. Forgeries and bribes exposed. Shares tanked. Clients fleeing like rats. Mom's friends blew up her phone. Gossip vipers. I ignored. Packing a go bag with cash from the safe. Combination. Our wedding date. Because delusion.
Then.
The knock. Not cops, worse. Richard Voss. Dad's shark lawyer. All pinstripes and pomade. Caroline, we need to talk. This leak, it's suicide. I ushered him in, perched on the chaise like a queen. Suicide for who? Richard? He paced. cologne choking. For all of us. I've buried bodies for your husband. If this unravels, threat or plea, I smiled.
Slow.
Bury this. Then. Or join him. He stopped, assessing. Power shifted me. In her skin, holding the strings. We cut a deal. Voss flips on Dad for immunity. Testifies to the swindles. Controversial 3. Collude with the devil's advocate. Trading one monster for testimony. But it locked the cage. By evening, feds were en route. Voss's statement greased. I watched from the window as taillights faded, rain washing the driveway clean. Monday dawned. The swap's end. I woke in my own bed. Sheets tangled. Body young and mine again sore, but whole. Grandma's motel number rang once. Did good. Firecracker. Florida's wait.
Click.
Downstairs. Mom, back in her shell, stared at the headlines. Face ashen. Willow.
What?
Happened. I shrugged, grabbing keys to the old Civic they'd never upgraded. Karma.
Mom.
Grandma sends her love. I drove south. $200 in my pocket, ironic starter, and the horizon cracking open. But the twist? In the glove box. A letter from Grandma. Not just revenge. Willow. Truth. Your mama didn't enable. The affair was her revenge on my silence about the swindle. I covered for Richard Voss back then. Let him walk. Cycle's broken now. But was it justice? Or just another swap? Love. Evie. Debate that over your latte. Happy? I was free. Tragic? Their empire crumbled on lies we all fed. Me included. The road to Pensacola stretched like a vein pulsing with regret. 95 a concrete artery clogged with semis and sedans full of lives less fractured than mine. 2 days out. And the headlines still chase me on my phone's cracked screen. Harper Empire implodes. CEO arrested in fraud probe. Dad's mugshot. Pudgy. Defiant. Splashed across CN. The affair unearthed in tabloid sidebars because Lena couldn't resist the spice. Mom had gone radio silent, probably holed up in a spa, rewriting her narrative for the divorce lawyers. And me, Willow Harper, 22 and untethered, with $200 in gas money and a duffel of thrift store jeans, chasing the ghost of justice down to Grandma's shotgun shack by the bay. But freedom tasted like ash. That letter gnawed at me, her cursive looping like nooses, cycles broken. Or just another swap. What truth had she buried? I'd avenged the money, the secrets, the stolen youth, but at what cost? Cops cuffing Dad on my say-so. Voss flipping like a poker hand. Controversial calls in a borrowed body. Decisions that blurred victim and villain. I'd felt powerful in Mom's skin. Her privilege, a cloak I wielded like a weapon.
Now.
Back in mine, I itched for more, deeper cuts. Because the Harpers didn't fall, they slithered. Florida hit like a fever dream, humidity thick as guilt. Palms clawing at the sky. Grandma's place squatted off Highway 98. Tin roof rattling under a squall. The porch sagging under hurricane scars. She rocked in a wicker throne. Cigarette dangling. Looking every bit the crone who'd brewed soul swap elixir. But her eyes, sharp as ever, welcomed me without a word. I dropped the bag. Collapsed into the glider beside her.
Evie.
The tonic.
How?
She exhaled smoke rings. Lazy halos. Family lore. Sugar. Great Gram from County Kerry, swapped with a landlord to steal back her farm. Blood and bay rum. Whispered under a blood moon. Worked for her. Why not us?
Us.
Like it was tea, not sorcery. I pressed. The letter. Mom's revenge? You covered for Voss. Her laugh cackled like dry leaves. 87. After the swindle. Voss was the forger. Your granddad's old poker buddy. I caught him, but hush money kept my mouth shut, bought the shack. Caroline found out years later. Post-affair. Thought sleeping with the instructor would hurt me. Foolish girl. We all got our poisons. Layers upon layers. Secrets metastasizing. I'd thought the betrayal mine alone. The money grab. The framed silence, but it spiderwebbed back generations. Grandma's mistake. Mom's retaliation. Dad's empire built on it all. And me, the scapegoat, gagging on their fallout since puberty. Why swap me in? I asked, voice cracking. Why not you? She stubbed the butt, eyes distant on the Gulf's gray churn. Too old for stilettos. Firecracker. And you. You needed to feel the throne. Power ain't just fists, it's wearing their mask till it chokes them. We talked till the rain quit. Conch shells clinking in the breeze. She fed me gumbo thick with andouille. Stories spilling like roux. Her nursing days dodging hurricanes. The 80s boom that Voss and Dad hijacked. They were vultures then. Same as now. But you, Willow, you clipped their wings. Pride swelled. Bittersweet. That night, bunked on the lumpy couch with a quilt smelling of salt and smoke. I dreamed in dual vision, my hands on Mom's phone, dialing doom, her face crumpling at the arrest. Woke sweating. Phone buzzing, unknown caller.
Mom.
Willow, Jesus. What did you do? Her voice. Whiskey rough. No Botox polish. I sat up. Gulf waves lapping mockery.
Me?
You stole my out.
Mom.
18K for your vanity. Silence. Then sobs, real ones. Not performative. It wasn't. We needed it. The club's dues. Your dad's campaign for council. And Evie, always poisoning you against us. Deflection. Classic Harper. But the swap lingered. I'd worn her shame. Felt the itch of that Birkin like fool's gold. Poison? Try truth. The docs. The affair, I fixed her messes. Now they're yours. She begged, come home. We can spin this. Therapy. Family retreat. Laughable. Home. That cage?
No.
But hey, enjoy the feds. Hung up.
Blocked.
Controversial 4. Cut the cord. Leave her flailing in the wreckage I'd wrought. But mercy flickered, sent her the charity transfer receipts. Your blood money. Redistributed. Start over. No reply. Grandma sensed the churn next morning. Over chicory coffee black as pitch. Regrets. I shook my head, but lied. Just.
The twist.
You made me the villain in their eyes. She snorted, dealing solitaire with cards worn soft. Villain?
Nah.
Avenger. But revenge is a hollow hook. Willow. Hooks you deeper than it guts them. Wise. But hollow too. I needed action. Not koans. What's next? Voss testifying Dad's done.
But Mom.
She slithers. Evie's grin wolfed. Then we bait the trap. One more play. She pulled a shoebox from under the bed, dusty Polaroids, yellowed news clips. Inside, a deed. And signed. To a Pensacola parcel Dad had developed into condos post-swindle. Fraudulent, like the rest. This here's leverage. Call Voss. Tell him Evie's got more skeletons. My pulse thrummed. Another swap? No, but in her playbook, information was the real body snatcher. I dialed from the porch payphone, retro. Anonymous. Voss answered terse. Harper girl, your stunt cost me clients.
Chilly.
Not done. Richard. Grandma's got the original deed. Pensacola Pines, your forgery. Silence. Then hiss. What do you want? Mom walks. Immunity for her. Full stop. Or it hits the prosecutor's desk with your name tattooed. Blackmail.
Pure.
Controversial 5. Shield the enabler. The woman who'd birthed me in betrayal.
Why?
Because cycles break with mercy. Not just blades. Or maybe I was soft. Still the secret keeper at heart. He caved. Faster than expected.
Deal.
But Evie stays quiet. She will, if you bury Dad deep.
Click. Power.
Again mine. Unborrowed. Grandma nodded approval over fried mullet that night. Smart.
Now.
Live. Willow. College on me, real money. No strings. Tears pricked, the $18,000 reborn. But tension simmered.
Most hebályú fog.
Midweek. A package arrived. FedEx. No sender. Inside. Mom's Birkin.
Gutted.
Spilling lipstick tubes and Valium vials. A note in her scrawl. You think you're free? We're Harper's. Blood calls. Creepy. Possessive. I burned it in the backyard fire pit. Flames devouring luxury like it deserved. Grandma watched. Pipe smoke veiling her face. She's cornered. Dangerous. Friday. The climax brewed. Dad's trial loomed. Arraignment Monday, but Mom struck first. Cops called. Miss Harper? Domestic disturbance at your family residence. Your mother's. Erratic. Heart slammed. Evie grabbed keys to her battered F-150. Road trip. Firecracker. End this. The drive north blurred. 8 hours of silence broken by AM radio preaching fire and brimstone. We hit Greenwich at midnight. Rain sheeting like judgment. The McMansion loomed. Lights blazing. Driveway empty. Inside. Chaos. Overturned lamps. Wine stains like blood on the cream Berber. Mom paced the kitchen. Hair wild. Clutching a butcher knife. Not raised, but trembling. Willow, she breathed, eyes feral.
You wore me.
I felt it. The calls, the lies.
How?
Echoes of the swap. Soul static? Grandma stepped forward, unflinching.
Easy. Caro.
Put it down. Mom whirled.
You.
That witch brew stole my skin. Hysteria cracked her voice. The knife clattered. She lunged, not at us, but the island.
Sobbing.
He's gone because of you. Our life gone. I knelt. Cautious. The girl who'd once covered her sins. Your life? Built on theft. Mine too. Till now. She deflated. Whispers spilling. I did it for you. Willow. The money, tuition, safety. Harpers protect their own.
Lie.
Or half-truth. The twist reversed again. her desperation humanizing the monster. Grandma's hand on my shoulder. Choose. Firecracker. Controversial 6. Forgive or finish? I chose gray. Therapy.
Mom.
Real this time. Voss's deal holds. You walk if you testify against him. Her eyes searched mine, finding the stranger I'd become. And if I don't, then the cycle spins. Your call. She nodded. Broken. Okay. We left her there. Dawn creeping gray. Back south. The weight lifted, but not gone. Grandma's pipe glowed. Happy ending? I shrugged. Debate fodder. Free, but scarred. She chuckled. That's America, baby. Land of the swapped souls. Months blurred into a humid haze. Pensacola's salt wind scouring the fresh ink on my community college enrollment. Nursing. Like grandma. Because healing beat hunting. The $18,000, reclaimed via Voss's guilty plea and Dad's asset freeze, funded books and a studio apartment above a bait shop. Walls thin but mine. No marble foyers. No whispered scandals, just the slap of waves and the grind of night shifts at the diner. Slinging po' to tourists with stories saltier than the Gulf. Revenge's afterglow faded fast. Dad's 20-year bid in federal lockup. Mom in rehab upstate, peddling her awakening to a therapist who charged by the trauma.
Voss, disbarred.
Slinking to Boca with a slap on the wrist. Justice. American style. Uneven.
But served.
Yet the UM lingered. A shadow stitched to my heels. Dreams swapped me back, waking in Mom's body mid-trial. Testifying in her falsetto as reporters flashed. Or worse, in Dad's. Brokering deals from a cell block payphone, his baritone booming my rage. Grandma called it echoes, prescribed rum and run. Souls don't slide clean. Willow. They snag. She was right. The tension coiled tighter with every Harper headline I dodged. Every pitying glance from old high school ghosts on Facebook. Fall semester hit like a nor'easter, biology labs dissecting frogs, while I dissected regrets. Classmates chattered dreams. Med school. Startups. Mine? Unclear. Fogged by the what-ifs. What if no swap? I'd have swallowed the $200, gradated into their machine, paralegal for Dad's firm. Blind to the rot. What if mercy backfired? Mom's weekly calls started earnest. Group today, we talked enablers. I see it now. Progress. Or ploy. Controversial 7. Trust the reformed viper? I did. Tentatively sent photos of my scrubs. Her replies dotted with emojis. Thawing the ice. But Power's addict. And mine itched. Grandma's stories fueled it, her Carrie kin. Swapping to topple tyrants, whispers of a cousin in Chicago who body-jacked a mob boss in the 50s. Bloodline gift, she'd say, winking over checkers. Tempting. That dark thrill, the controversial rush of playing God in someone else's flesh. One night, post-midterms, buzzed on cheap tequila, I uncorked a vial she'd just mixed, placebo. She swore. Drank anyway, chasing ghosts. No swap. Just spins and a vow, no more thrones. But the seeds sprouted doubt. Winter broke with a bang. Mom's discharge. A supervised release to a halfway house in Stanford. Visit, her email begged. Attached a photo, thinner. Eyes clear. Holding a NA chip like a talisman. Grandma scoffed over eggnog spiked with bourbon. Trap. Firecracker. Harpers rebuild nests. But I went. Greyhound rattling north. Heart a war drum. Stamford squatted gray. Her house, a brick bunker with barred windows and group therapy chants drifting like fog. She waited in the lobby. No Birkin, just jeans and a sweater from Target. Looking mortal. Willow. Hug, tentative. Her perfume faded to soap. We walked the rec yard. Chain link rattling in the wind off Long Island Sound. Rehab's hell, she said, lighting a illicit smoke. Stripped everything. The lies. The image. I nodded. Boots crunching gravel. Felt that.
Mom.
In your skin. Her face crumpled real.
Raw.
The swap. Evie told me after. You ruined us. Accusation. But laced with awe.
No. Exposed.
The money. The swindle. Dad's crimes. She exhaled. Plume twisting. And mine. The affair? Not just revenge. I was lonely. Willow. He built walls higher than houses. Vulnerability. A crack in the armor. We talked hours, her nursing school dropout for the Harper match. The guilt over my silenced childhood. You suffered for us. My mistake. Tears. Mutual. Controversial 8. Absolve? I did. Partial. Hugged back. Whispered. Start clean. No cycles. She nodded.
Fierce.
Promise. Southbound bus. I texted Grandma. Forgave. Sort of. Her reply, foolish. Or brave. Watch your back. Omen. Unheeded. Spring bloomed treacherous. Finals loomed. Diner shifts doubled. When the call came, Voss. From a burner. Harper girl, your mom's in trouble. Relapse. But worse, she's talking. To feds. About the swap. Ice in veins. Bullshit. Laughter.
Oily.
Check the news. Or don't.
Point is.
Cycles spin both ways. Hung up. I Googled frantic. Nothing. But unease festered. Climax, crash Memorial Day weekend. Grandma's birthday bash, low country boil on the beach. Cousins from Carrie Stock descending with fiddles and firewater. Laughter lapped the waves. But my phone buzzed insistent, Mom. Voicemail. Willow.
Run.
Voss, he knows. The tonic. The blood thing. He's got proof. From Evie's old files. Coming for us. Panic surged. Salt air turning sour. Voss struck that night. Storm sirens wailed as his goons, 2 meaty ex-cops from Dad's payroll, kicked in Grandma's door. Masks and maglights. Malone, the witch shit, handed over. Evie, spry as sin, swung her switchblade, nicking one. Chaos, fiddles smashed, boil pot tipping scalding. I grabbed a conch shell, heavy, jagged, cracked it over the second goon's skull. He dropped. But Voss loomed in the doorway. Pistol casual. Amateur hour. Caroline sang like a canary, swapped details for a deal. Immunity's sweet. Betrayal reversed, Mom. My fragile olive branch. Flipped. For freedom? Or fear? Grandma spat blood.
Pinned.
Finish it. Firecracker. Controversial 9. Kill? No. Smarter. I lunged. Not at Voss. But his phone in his pocket snatched it. Bolted into the gale. Rain blinded. Dunes swallowing feet. Stop. Bitch. Shots cracked.
Wild.
Hid in the mangroves. breath ragged, dialing 911 on his cell. Shooting at 98 Beach Road. Armed intruders. Sirens screamed distant. Voss crashed through.
Cursing.
I ambushed Sheltonee.
Drop.
Cuffed him loose with his own zip ties. Heart thunder. Cops swarmed, hauling goons and him.
Grandma.
Bruised but unbroken. Grinned through split lip. Blood calls.
Al.
Dawn broke bloody. Feds descending. Mom's confession spilled. Voss blackmailed her post-rehab, threatening exposure of the occult fraud to void Dad's plea. She talked to save skin again. Twist's knife, her awakening a facade. Cycle unbroken. I confronted via video call from the station. Her face pixelated pale. Willow.
I.
Panicked. No tears. You always do.
Mom.
But this? Endgame. Hung up. Filed the restraining order. Summer scorched. Trial 2. Voss's conspiracy. Mom as co-conspirator. She got probation. Community service slap. Again. But the Harper name?
Ash.
I graduated nursing cert. Landed a gig at the VA, patching vets. Not vendettas. Grandma healed slow. But schemed. Next swap? A judge. I laughed. But I'd the vile stash. Ending? Debatable as Delta Mud. Happy free. Certified. With Evie's fire in my veins. Tragic. Scars swap deep.
Trust a casualty.
Controversial. Mercy's fool's gold. Or the only win. America's dark heart beats on. Betrayals buried. Secrets swapped. Revenge a mirror cracking both ways.
But me?
Willow Malone Harper. Stitched from both. I walk the wire. Balanced.
For now.